Hi, this is Shakil Ahmed. Welcome to all of you to my channel. In this tutorial, I would like to explain what is a research process and the important steps used in a research process. Most of the students when enter to the state of research are in research degrees. They wonder about what they need to do or what steps they need to follow. So in this tutorial provide you a clear guideline of conducting a research at any level. For conducting a research, you need to follow following 7 steps. Uh, the first step is the identification of your research problem, and that what is you are solving for and what the problem you have. The second thing is literature review. Uh, this is about studying the already existing works related to the uh, subject or the topic you are going to select. And the third step is uh, setting objectives and making hypothesis. And the fourth step is choosing the study design, what design you are need to conduct your study. And the fifth step is data collection, collecting the statistical data. Now it might be qualitative data or quantitative data uh, to conduct your study or research. And the sixth step is processing and analyzing the data. And the seventh step is writing the report. So these were all the steps in your study or research. uh, I want to explain the most important and the first step of research design, which is identification of problem. That you can also say statement of problem. You need to write in your report as a subsection or a section as statement of problem. So you need to search for what is your research question and what problem you are going to solve. So all a well-defined problem will lead the researcher to accomplish all important phases of the research process. It start from setting objectives to the selection of the research methodology. Means clearing a problem or stating the problem or defining the problem help you in setting your objectives and applying a specific methodology to your research. But the main question here is that what is your problem? Either your problem is a research problem or a non-research problem. Means we further divide the problems into two categories as research problems and non-research problems. So the non-research problems are the problems which need not to be investigated or not possible to investigate or verified. For example, rises in the price of warm clothes during winter. This is actually a problem, but we can't solve this problem or we don't need to investigate this problem as there is no specific study needed for such type of problems. Similarly, uh, prefer people most likely to prefer to take admission in public universities over private universities. This is also a problem. Traffic jam in a certain city or a street is also a problem. These are problems are related to administrative and need not to be or not possible to investigate or verify it using a study or a research. So these problems are categorized as non-research problems. The another type of problem is research problem which we are interested in which we are interested. uh, those problems are possibly verified and investigated through a study or a research. The research problem has three basic conditions uh, according to Fisher et al. The there should be a discrepancy between what it is, what actually the problem is, and what it should have been. And you can also differentiate between what exists and what is idealized and what is the planned situation. So this is a research problem. For example, diabetic patients are more vulnerable to COVID-19 deaths. This problem is needed to be identified or investigated. Uh, just saying that the diabetic patients are more vulnerable to COVID-19 deaths is not enough. It needs a special consideration or investigation. So we state this as our problem. Uh, so the next condition is that the question about why the discrepancy exists should also exist. Means if there is a discrepancy between what is in reality and what is the ideal situation, so there is a discrepancy between these two things, and then there should be a cause of this discrepancy, and there should be at least two possible answer or solution to the question or problem. As we already described or stated that diabetic patients are more vulnerable to COVID-19 deaths. So we need to solve this problem, and this problem has two possible answers, whether the diabetic patients are more vulnerable or not. So research questions are our research problem has two possible answers or solutions. The problem identification also need the statement of problem. A clear and well defined statement is necessary for identifying or stating a problem. The problem statement also point out why the proposed research on the problem should be undertaken, why we need to take a research, or why we need to propose the research, what the researcher hopes to achieve with the findings of the study. Means we need to clear that what findings are expected and what finding the study can provide us. It leads the researcher to formulate the research objectives. The statement of problem also lead to understand the background of the study and to choose a proper research methodology. Means while choosing research methodology we need to uh, uh, keep in mind the research problem of our study. Basically these 7 steps are connected with each other. You need to follow back to the previous step while taking a decision on a certain step. Then you need to justify the problem. You can justify the problem by asking a question why the problem of the study is important. Means you need to justify that the problem is why the problem is important to other who are looking at your research, or who are supervising or who are sponsoring your research. So you need to clear the importance of your research problem. The importance of your research problem lead to you a higher chance to publish your research work in renowned journals. So uh, the next thing is the how large and what is the scope of your problem. Your problem is has a high scope or a low scope. You can also justify or in the scope of your problem. And can others be convinced about the importance of the problem? As I already discussed that this is important thing, that other who are supervising or looking at your research should be satisfied with your problem statement. And the last thing is analyzing the problem. Critical attention should be given to accommodate the viewpoint of the stakeholders, uh, managers, users, and researchers. Identifying the factors that may be contributed to the problems. Some other factors might be attached to the a problem you are solving or you are uh, answering. So you need to clear the important factors attached to the problem. Problem analysis can be made using certain uh, exploratory research such as pilot survey, case studies, focus group interview, and experience survey. These are all different types of study designs you can apply while analyzing your problem. But when your problem is clearly stated and you are justified with your problem, then this stage is not much important, as it is costly or economically not to the considerable. The next thing is a review of literature. You need to skim through the available materials and available uh, publications in the field in which you are going to investigate or you are going to do research. So looking for all related works and articles published uh, will help you to formulate your research in terms of the specific aspects of the general area of your interest. It provides exposure to a larger body of knowledge, and it enhances knowledge to the uh, research process. And the research process can efficiently be conducted when you also have a detailed literature review. uh, Richard literature review also develop the coherence between the result of the study and those of the others. Means it make a clear relationship between your study and those the people already conducted. You can compare your study with the results of your study to the result of studies already conducted. When you have a great grasp over your literature and the related works already done in near past or uh, in the same time point. The review of literature also enable the researchers to avoid duplication of the work. If the work is already done by someone in recent past, then a clear cut or a clear review of literature make it possible that you have to turn or you have to change your topic or your problem as the problem was already solved or already worked by some other researcher. It also helps the researcher to find out what other have learned and reported on the problem, as I already discussed. It helps the researchers to become familiar with the types of methodology followed by others. Means when you uh, d- thoroughly study the materials or the publications or the reports available in literature, you will uh, get a complete guide of what you need to do in your research, starting from the statement of problem and the choice of objective and data collection method and your analysis method and writing the report. You will get all the information from your literature when you study the literature in a great way. You can also find any controversies or contradiction in your result or in your findings when you see the literature or read the literature in detail. It also allows to understand if there are any unanswered questions or research in the literature. The third step in research is setting objective and hypothesis. You need to clear what is the objective of your study. The main objective of the study or the primary objective of the study should be clear, and there might be more than one objective. One may be primary and the other are the secondary objectives when while conducting a research. An objective will precisely tells what should be researched. Means you what are you going to research and what is your target. To describe the type of information that should be collected. It also provides a framework for the scope of the study. Means by looking at your objective of the study, one can judge what type of study and what is the scope of your study and what your study can be, uh, whether your study can be generalized to some population or some other setting. That all things can be just from your objective of the study. A hypothesis should also be made for conducting a research. Basically, a hypothesis is an unproven statement or proposition that can be refused or supported by empirical data. When you conducting a research using empirical data or quantitative data, then your findings or your results uh, uh, may support your hypothesis or may refute your hypothesis. Basically, you need to make a hypothesis before conducting your study, as we already written a statement in the statement of problem section that uh, there is a relation between diabetic prevalence and the COVID-19 deaths. So this statement can be just using your data. When you collect data from patients of COVID-19, then you can answer the question uh, using your hypothesis, through your hypothesis made at this stage. The hypotheses are all of two kind. One is a research hypothesis and the other is a statistical hypothesis. The research hypothesis is a statement about your study, that what your study assumed and what are the things on which you are relying, while a statistical hypothesis is a statement about the population parameter. This is a purely a statistical term, while the research hypothesis is a general term used in research. The next step is choosing the study design. After making a hypothesis and the clearing your objectives, you need to choose the study design. This is the most important and sensitive uh, decision. The research design is the blueprint or framework. This is basically a framework or a snap or a structure of your whole research. It is a master plan specifying the method and procedures for collecting, processing, and analyzing the data. uh, Means your study design decides how to collect your data, how to process your data, and how to analyze your data. Means if you are conducting a cross-sectional study, then you need to adopt the methodologies accordingly. So there are four basic research designs. One is survey, and the second is experiment, third is secondary data study, and the fourth is observational study. There are sub uh, types of these research designs, like cross-sectional study or longitudinal study or panel studies. So this is uh, a separate topic, need a detailed discussion on the choose of a research design. So I will try to make a tutorial on issues in research design or types of choosing a choice of research design. So you can watch the tutorial later. But the choice of research design depends primarily on four factors. One is the type of problem, what type of problem you are going to solve, and what is your research objective. Here you can notice that the first two steps, this step is depending on first two steps, step 1 and step 2, identification of problem and the objective of the study. And the next thing about the study design is that the existing state of knowledge about the problem that is being studied. The resources are available for the study. You need to also see whether you have enough resources for conducting the study. The next step is data collection, which consists of gathering of data. It may range from simple observation to a large scale survey. Uh, just simple observation is the most economical and most easy way of conducting a research, while a large scale survey can be conducted only by an organization or at government and non-government organization level. There are many ways to collect data. The approach select depends on the objective of the study, the research design, and the availability of the time, money, and personnel. With the variation in the type of data, qualitative or quantitative, to be collected, the method of data collection also varies. Means your next step depends on this step. uh, what type of data you have collected, decide the uh, data analysis tools or data analysis methods. And the collection of data uh, have different modes. We need to decide what mode of data collection can be used to your study design. So you can use quantitative data is collected through the structured interviews. uh, this method is basically used for qualitative data analysis, but you can also apply for quantitative data collection using self-administered questionnaires, telephonic interview, other means of data collection. include the use of secondary sources. Secondary sources are economically easy and inexpensive, as we can collect data from uh, any other source or any other organizations which have already collected for some other purpose. It can be collected from census or vital registration records or official documents. For example, we can collect data about birth issues or maternal mortalities from official documents of hospitals and previous surveys conducted on for some other purposes. uh, Qualitative data can be collected by in-depth interview and observational study and focus group, and this is also a detailed field where you need to study these things separately. We can also think for a separate video for discussing the different sources of qualitative data and how to conduct a study with qualitative analysis. Processing and analysis data. This is the sixth step in a research. The editing and coding of data. First, when you collected the data from any source we already mentioned here, then the next step is the editing and coding of data. You need to first ensure the consistency across respondents and the location of or presence of missing values or omissions. You need to search for missing values or any inconsistency in your data. The next step is editing. When you found some mistake or some replication in your uh, data you have already entered, then you need to edit. Use by the addition make possible the in reduction of errors in the recording and improves legibility and clarifies unclear and inappropriate responses. Data addition is necessary when you collected data by yourself, uh, as we have already discussed. When you conducted a survey or when you made an observation or you conducted an experiment, then you collect the data and the next step is your data addition, yani means you need to edit your data. The next step is coding of data. You need to make alphanumeric codes to present your uh, values or your information you taken from the respondents. This coding process facilitates processing the data. It make easy the analysis when you code the data. Data editing and coding process can be done by computer. Like in SPSS you can edit data or you can record data using different options in SPSS. I have already made an SPSS learning tutorial consisting of 25 videos. You can watch the videos from my channel for editing and coding the data. And the sixth step is processing and analyzing the data, as we are already discussing. And data analysis also involves reducing accumulated data to manageable size. uh, this means summarizing the data. uh, when the data is collected you need to classify and you need to make tables and you make you need to make summaries of the data. uh, for quantitative data, we have a lot of statistical methods for summarizing data, like computing averages, proportions, and measure of dispersions for summarizing your data and making a summary. Yes, but in qualitative data, you need to search for patterns and uh, make themes and other coding uh, procedures. Applying statistical techniques for understanding and interpreting the findings under the research questions. And you can also conduct hypothesis testing for drawing statistical inference about the population or about your research hypothesis. Data analysis techniques include very simple graphical techniques to more complex multivariate analysis. The data analysis techniques depends on the objective of the study and research design you employed and the nature of data collected. uh, Basically the data is uh, qualitative or quantitative. And the final thing is writing a report. Before writing a report, uh, I will explain what is a research proposal and how to write a research proposal. A research proposal is a work plan, prospectus, outline, or an offer. uh, a proposal is basically written before conducting a study, and it basically provide a snapshot of the research work you are going to do. A statement of intent or commitment from an individual researcher or an organization to produce a product or render a service to a potential client or sponsor. The proposal will be prepared to keep in view the sequence presented in the research process. Means while making a research proposal, you need also keep in mind what is your research problem and what is your objective and how data you will be collected. These things can also be mentioned in your uh, proposal. Basically a proposal is a mini report in which we just uh, make a structure of your research you are going intended to do. It must also show the benefit of doing it. The research proposal also should consist of the things or the benefits of your research. It always include an explanation of the purpose of the study, the research objectives, or definition of the problem. Why to write a proposal? To keep in view the sequence presented in the research process. The proposal tells us what, how, where, and to whom it will be done. It must also show the benefit of doing it, as we already discussed. It always include an explanation of the purpose of study. I think this is already discussed. The report should be systematically outline the particular research methodology, details the procedure that will be utilized at stage of the research process, the end goal of a scientific study is to interpret the results and draw conclusion. To this end, it is necessary to prepare a report aims to transmit the findings. Means you need to convey your findings to the viewer or to the uh, policymakers or program managers or administrators who are utilizing your research for making policies. Various forms of research reports are the term papers. You can also report your results and findings in form of term papers, in form of dissertations or thesis when if you are a student, and the journal articles if you are a researcher or faculty member. You need to report your results or your findings in form of a journal article or paper for presentation of at professional conference and seminar. You can also present your work at uh, a professional conference or seminars, and you can also write your findings or your research in a book. Dissemination of findings to identify the most effective media channels to reach different audience groups. The dissemination may be made through a conference, a seminar, a report, or an oral or poster presentation. Means you need to divide, or you need to distribute your work to the audience or to the people who need, through a conference, through a seminar, through a report, or through oral presentation, or through a poster presentation. The style and organization of report will differ according to the target audience. uh, as we already discussed, many type of dissemination forms are the presentation forms, like conference paper, a seminar, article, and dissertations. So you need to uh, a report, or you need to format your report according to your target audience or the occasion and the purpose of the research, for what purpose you have done your research, and the client's perspectives, what your clients want to see, and uh, what results they need to present or for their policy, and the contributor. Content of a research report should be an execute summary. There should be an abstract in an article, or a summary in a thesis or book. Background of the problem should be written after the summary, and the literature review should be a 2 to 3 page document in which you need to explain the literature uh, in detail, from by by year or by topic. And the next section is methodology, and then findings of your study, that are results, and then discussion of results. In discussion of result, you discuss your results and your findings and compare them to the results already found in literature, and see for any possible contradiction. And then you need to conclude your study uh, on the basis of your findings and previous works. And uh, you can also give certain recommendation for future works to the researchers who wants to work in your field or related to your topic. These journals, every journals have their own format and editorial policies, so you can change the format or these topics or this format of report according to the journal or to the audience you want to present or you want to publish. Publication of research, there are splendid opportunities for researchers to publish their work. uh, Researchers are suggested to choose a topic or a problem where you can easily collect your data from an actual setting, and utilization of research findings. You should be able to utilize your research findings, and you can also recommend your results uh, for policy makers to make new programs and new interventions. So that's all about the research process. There were 7 research steps. So I hope you people understand uh, many things about conducting a research. For any feedback or any more clarification, you can write in comment section, and don't forget to subscribe the channel for future videos. Thank you.